This thing's pretty good. Let's get into it. So, the B1-PC is a budget alternative to the most popular leverless controller known as the Hitbox, which usually retails for around $249.99. Or even the insanely priced Victrix Pro, which goes for $399.99. Just why? Why is it so expensive? Then again, it is already compatible with PS5 off the rip, so you don't have to buy anything else, but still, $399.99 is a bit ridiculous. All right, so let's get into the pros and cons, and obviously we're gonna go with the pros first. And like we were just talking about, the first pro is the price. Even when you compare it to everybody's recommendation on Reddit and other forums, the Snackbox Micro, which is everybody's go-to budget hitbox alternative, it's a lot cheaper. The Snackbox goes for around $195 usually, as you can see on the screen. The B1 DIY goes for $129.99, $99 usually on sale, which happens quite often. I just think right now, you know, like even they have this big message at the top here that says, due to high volume of orders, processing time can extend to 2 weeks. So right now they're on high demand. Obviously that might be why they removed the sale, but the DIY mini still goes for $99.99, which should be around the same size as the Snackbox anyways. Even if you were to get the maxed out PS5 compatible with the Brook board and everything, it's still not as expensive as that Victrix. However, if you are gonna go with these fightboxArcade leverless controllers, I highly suggest you go with the regular PC version. Again, you can find it for $99.99 usually on sale, or just go with the mini. The second pro would be customization and ease of disassembly. The B1-PC is actually very simple to take apart. All you have to do is remove the 7 screws from the back and then pull out the pins. Once you do that, you will have access to start removing the layers. In between the first 2 layers is where you would put your custom art if you decide to make your own or order one through them on the website. If it's actually your first time buying from fightboxArcade, they actually give you a customized panel for $10. So you would email them the picture that you want, the custom art that you want, and they would actually put it onto the stick itself before they send it out. But if you want to do it yourself, they actually give you the measurements on the description, and they even have a A3 paper template in Google Drive, so you can download that yourself and then, you know, customize it yourself, put it in, you know, through Photoshop or whatever, and then print out yourself. They tell you the type of paper, A3 paper, and they give you the measurements for the panel size. Once you remove the plexiglass panels, you will also have access to the board itself, which you can actually update to the new SOCD standard that Capcom wants. I don't know why some people were saying that the C800 isn't compatible with the new SOCD. It actually is. You just have to get the update through retrocrafts.com. I will have a link to all the things that I mentioned and that I talk about in the description, guys. Once you download the upgrade software, they actually give you a full tutorial on how to do a detailed written tutorial on how to do it. They tell you exactly where to put the pins of the tweezers, because you're gonna need tweezers for this, or like maybe 2 paper clips might work. Not really sure. I use some tweezers. The program is in another language, but they tell you exactly what to expect, what button to press, and what order. And it's fairly easy. Once you do that, you will be up to date on the SOCD standard that Capcom wants, and you're all ready to go in case you go to tournaments or anything like that. Once you remove these panels, you will also have access to the hot swappable Cherry MX switches. They are very easy to take out in case you want to switch the black switches for, you know, cherry reds, cherry blues, browns, whatever your preference is. All you have to do is press in on this little tab here, this little black tab, and pull from the other side, and they will come right out. Why you want to do this? Maybe you want some switches with faster actuation time. I know I had some people in the comments in my last video talking about how the black switches require, you know, 2 millimeters of travel time to actuate, while the sandwell buttons on the F series require only 1.7. I mean, to be quite honest with you guys, in my personal opinion, having tested the F1 and the B1, the black switches and that 0.3 millimeter of actuation time, it didn't seem to affect me. I was actually landing a lot more of my combos on the B1 than the F1, whether it was in Street Fighter or even Tekken. I was starting to do some like pretty high damage combos, whether they're optimal or not. So the next pro is ease of use. All you have to do is, once it's out of the box, you plug it in to your PC. It is recognized as an X input device, aka an Xbox controller, and it just works. Right? It just works. Right? Everything just works just like that. Whether it's this game or Tekken or any other fighting game that you use on PC, it will recognize it as an X input controller. You're ready to go. You don't need to tamper with anything. The next pro that I want to talk about is portability and the size. I mean, just look at how thin this thing looks. Here it is, right? Next to, like, put my Nintendo Switch next to it. It is very slim, and this isn't even the mini, right? So the mini might be the size of the Nintendo Switch. I don't know. $5. If you want to send me one for review, I will gladly take it. But I mean, this thing is just so compact, so portable. I mean, just look at it compared to this massive Razer Aatrox, or people know this as like the Razer Panthera, because I think the PS4 version was a lot more popular. But look at how massive compared. Like, just look at the sizes, right? Sorry if it's not like the greatest thing, but just look at this thing. This thing swallows it. It's portable, and like I said, this isn't even the mini. I can't even imagine how small the mini version is. And the last pro that I want to mention is the overall feeling, whether it's on input delay, on how the buttons themselves feel. Everything about this just feels absolutely amazing. I've been a lot more consistent in my combos, like I was mentioning earlier, whether it's in Tekken, whether it's in Street Fighter, or any other fighting game that I try. The keyboard switches themselves feel absolutely amazing, and that might just be a preference thing since I've been gaming on keyboard and mouse so much lately for shooters. But let me switch over to my phone cam and show you guys just how it sounds. You know, so it does sound just like a keyboard. And again, that might just be preference. All right, so let's get into the negatives. And to be honest, I had to like actually brainstorm this because I just loved it so much. I had to think about what I didn't like. However, we're gonna start off with something that might be a personal issue for me, but this does seem to be a little bit of a dust magnet. Like, even when it's just sitting here on my desk, maybe I just need to clean way more often. I tend to clean my room at least once a week and dust it off. But I don't know, so the top panel just seems to like pick up dust fairly easily. I always have to like wipe it down with like a cloth every time I'm gonna go use it, or else I just feel it. Maybe I'm just really like sensitive to dust. I don't really know. I just always feel it when I'm gonna go use it. Now, the second negative that I want to talk about is compatibility. Obviously, this is the B1-PC, as the name states, it's only for PC. However, it does say it works for PS3 and Switch. I can't test it on my Switch. I don't have any way to connect it to it. However, if you do manage to get this for $99, or if you get the mini for $99, you can get a Wingman converter from Brook. Now they do have this one just came out for the PS5. It's the Wingman Converter FGC, which is for PS5. It also works on PS4, but the PS4, if you're mostly gaming on PS4, it does have a cheaper one for $40. I think these go for $60 right now. Xbox also has one that goes for $40 and $50. So again, you end up spending $150, which is still cheaper than the snack box, and it's still cheaper than the hitbox. If you do get one of these, it's fairly easy to use. You know, it comes with the plug in the bag. You plug in the USB to that, and you plug it in to the PS5, and it works like a native PS5 controller. However, this only works on fighting games. Don't think that you can use a Xbox Elite controller or anything like that. It's only meant for fight sticks, from what I'm aware of, but it worked extremely well, as you can see in the video here. And I didn't notice any extra input delay or anything like that when using it on the PS5. And the last negative that I do want to mention is the longevity, English very hard, okay? The lifespan, right? Let's talk about the lifespan. Now this does use Cherry switches. I've never had an issue with Cherry. I've always used Cherry switches on my keyboards. I always go with Corsair and choose their Cherry Reds or their speed switches now. So I'm not really too worried about the switches themselves, especially since they're hot swappable. You can just, you know, something goes wrong with a switch, you can just change it out, put in a red, put in another black, whatever it is. What does worry me is if something goes wrong. Let's say, you know, I accidentally pull on the cord too much and I damage the port. On the B1 series, all this stuff is soldered in, right? So that the connection port is soldered in, the board is soldered in, so upgradability past the switches isn't really there, right? You can't switch out, or you can if you're into soldering and all that, but at that point, I don't know, that just seems like a lot of work. You're sticking to the C800. On the F1 series, you can actually swap that out. You can put in the Brook universal boards in there. On this, you're pretty much stuck with the C800 unless you get into it and you start soldering things. So yeah, honestly, there's just not much to hate on this device. Like, fightboxArcade did such a great job making it affordable, putting in reliable parts, at least in my opinion from my usage. And it's just absolutely great, guys. I can't stop recommending this device enough. If you want to get into leverless controllers, I highly recommend you guys go with fightboxArcade. They will treat you guys right. Go ahead, get yourself either this one or the mini guys, and trust me, I don't think you guys will regret it. But yeah, that was the review. I hope you guys liked it. I'll see you guys in the next video.